Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For people who do not know, I come from the northeastern region of India. I am from Assam. And if you ever plan to visit in any of the northeastern states, I'm sure you're going to come across a lot of interesting elements, which includes food, tourist attractions, diverse languages and cultures and tradition. But there's one more thing that gives a very unique experience living in these lands, and that is the urban legends. Every nook and corner of the northeastern states holds an enormous amount of urban legends. In fact, if you ever try to deep dive what the places or the hills or villages and towns etc. are named after, you will always stumble upon an urban legend. And this is exactly how one of the waterfall was named as the Nohkalika Falls. This legend is from the beautiful state Meghalaya, also known as a Dove of Clouds, where a girl named Lika, also known as Kalika. So, giving you the backstory, the Khasis in Meghalaya usually put Ka before the names of the women. So Lika, also called Kalika, and a boy fell in love with each other and eventually got married and had a beautiful daughter. Now, this family of three were living a simple and a very happy life. The father would go to work in the coal mines, and the mother would look after the house and take care of the baby. But then, life is not always happy. So, for them as well, life had other plans, and misfortune laid hands on the family. The father died and left the young child and the wife at misery. Now, we all know we need money to survive, and that's what Lika knew as well. So she went around looking for works to sustain her family and finally found one, which was also near to her house. So she was happy about that. And it was a pottery work where she would also take her daughter along with her so that she was not left behind at home, because she was actually very young to be left alone at home. And from the day the husband passed away, life was getting tougher and tougher for Lika ever since. So, seeing such hardship and misery, Lika's father decided to get her married again with another man who would be able to, help her and her daughter live a happy life again. Now, the second marriage took place, but not as happily as the first. The boy that she got married now was very, very much in love with her and would do anything and everything to keep her happy. The new husband and Lika decided that they would go for work, but turn by turn, so that at least one parent would be able to look after the young daughter. Now, the husband would go to the coal mines. Now, for people who are not aware, coal mining is one of the major sources of income in Meghalaya. It's also one of the deadliest jobs, I would say. Okay, coming back to the story. Lika, as usual, would go for the pottery work 2 or 3 days a week. One such day, after her work and the sun was set, she hurried back home as she was tired and hungry, and she also very well knew that she had to go and cook dinner as well. Now, when she returned home, she saw that the lamp was not lit at home and the house was in utter darkness. She started calling out her husband's name and her daughter while entering the house. And as she entered the house, a smile came to her face. She saw that her husband was cooking. Now, nobody has ever prepared food for her. So, you guys know how it is conventionally, right? So her husband smiled back and told her that he had prepared dinner for her, also done all the household chores, and fed the child and made her sleep as well. Leka, filled with happiness, sat down with her husband and had the dinner. The husband asked if she liked the dinner he cooked, to which she smilingly replied, "Of course I did." After the filling dinner, she went to the other room to look for betel nuts, which she kept in a small container. Now, for people who are not familiar, people in Northeast usually consume betel nuts for like after having their food, and is believed to help in digestion. Now, I have earlier mentioned that the house was in darkness, and when she was looking for betel nut box, she caught a small piece of meat like object in her hand. Now, upon looking carefully, she found that it was a human finger, and it was no other than her daughter's. Her husband was so much in love with her, married her, and imagined a happy life with her all throughout. But day by day, he realized that Lika was so much in love with her daughter and would spend most of the time with her, which is pretty normal, right? But he was so obsessed with Lika that he was jealous of the young daughter, whom he himself accepted as his daughter as well. Out of jealousy, he killed his daughter and cut his head and legs and threw them away somewhere down the hills, and cooked the rest of the body for her mother to eat. Upon realizing what just happened, Lika lost her mind and started running through the hills looking for her daughter's body parts. Hundreds and thousands of questions ran through her mind. She couldn't comprehend why he would do that, and that she ate her own daughter's body. After running for a couple of distance, she came across the edge of a waterfall. A waterfall so beautiful that every tourist would for sure pay a visit to this place. The water falls down from a high-rise hill, cutting through the large stones of the hills. Lika looked down the waterfall. The sounds of the water hitting the rock grew louder and louder in her ears. The moisture touching her body, and the thought of her eating her own daughter running through her mind. Lika jumped off the cliff and gave her life. To this day, the villagers around the waterfall hear screams of that dreaded mother, screaming her misery and anger and dread out into the waterfall, which today is known as the Nohkalika Falls.